right. Do you want to introduce everything, Joel, or you want me to go for it?
I'll just let you run with it today.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. My name is Rich Gannon. I'm with Great Falls Development and the Montana Small Business Development Center. Thanks for tuning in to our monthly small business webinar, where we usually host some egg-headed expert talking about something to do with their specific expertise in business, but we rarely talk to people who are actually out there doing that. I'm going to get to our guests here in a second, but first I'd like to thank our sponsors, Montana State University Extension Office, the Montana Small Business Development Center, University of Montana, and Great Falls Development Alliance. So thank you everybody again for tuning in. Again, like I said, we usually have a subject matter expert about something to do with their particular thing with business, be it accounting, finance, marketing, something like that. But we rarely have time to actually talk to an actual entrepreneur. So I wanted to have someone on here and introduce someone who is actually a startup entrepreneur who is really knocking it out of the park. So I'd like to introduce Jennifer Renaud of Thrive Cycle. So wave, Jennifer, there you are. And Jennifer started Thrive Cycle in Great Falls about 18 months ago. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And we just wanted to have a chat with her and kind of run through what it's like to be an entrepreneur, what it's like to start a business from scratch, have that business take off, and then manage that business. So kind of early on, I'm going to kind of break this into three parts. And the first part I'm going to talk about, Jennifer, is the startup stage, but really even going before that, what was the inspiration for the business? Kind of give us a little bit of your background and the inspiration for Thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Inspiration for Thrive. I started going to spin classes indoor cycling in Missoula when I was living in that area and just immediately was drawn to the community. You go into this dark room with these indoor cycling bikes, the music's loud, the lights, and just you get lost for 45 minutes. And I loved it, became a big part of who I was. And then my family and I moved here to Great Falls, and I'd never even been here. And I know there are some other cycling classes, but it wasn't what I wanted. And after many conversations at dinner with my family, my three kids finally were like, Mom, just open up a studio, just do it. And so trying to be an inspiration for them, I started that process and just wanted to find that community here and build it. And finding all these other writers and other women and men that loved it has become my inspiration. So I can't believe it's almost been 2 years and it's still just so wild to be here. But I think the biggest inspiration is just finding a community that accepts you and you get to work on your physical fitness, your mental health, and just build friendships. It's really important.
Nice. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and we can kind of identify entrepreneurships almost like a spectrum where some people will have just a seed germinating in the back of their mind, and that might take 3 months or 12 years to actually turn into like where they're actually taking action steps to get launched. So tell us kind of about that spectrum for you. What did it feel like to have that initial thought to the point where you're like, okay, I'm actually doing this, and kind of the steps you took to actually not start the business, but start the business to take that step and say, yeah, I'm actually going to do it.
Yeah, it was very fast. We moved here May of 2023 and just kind of doing research around town. And when I finally committed to myself and my family, like, we're going to do this, starting to look at spaces and then getting in touch with Downtown Association, it was within a couple months, already ordering equipment. And I think the biggest part was starting the social marketing, getting on Instagram and Facebook and starting to really build our following and just kind of showcasing what we were going to bring. And in less than 6 months, we were open. My expectation was to open in our garage with 10 bikes. But once I got started and got on track with the Downtown Association and found a space, it just got really big, really quick. And we started with 12 bikes and now we're at 22 bikes and we are just growing. But the initial stage was really fast, trying to put everything together and just rolling with it. And I'm so thankful that I just went for it.
And throughout that that whole process, what ended up being harder than you expected?
Let's see. I think the hardest part was growing really quickly and being able to keep up with our riders community wise, because that is one of the biggest things. Our culture is really strong. Everyone that walks through that door, I want them to feel welcome, like it's their family, and make sure it's a good first experience. So making sure we upheld that culture, and then growing a team. I didn't expect to grow so soon. I was just teaching by myself. So adding on other instructors and training them and front staff and really building our team, that was an unexpected challenge. And I'm very thankful for it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of, is being able to find other individuals and train them and go through the whole process of becoming an instructor, and they get on that podium and they just light up. So definitely a challenge, but also a reward in the same.
And we should let people know too, and maybe you can talk about this a little bit. You started out in a certain space and quickly outgrew that space. Can you tell us kind of that process and your growth that this has seen in just 18 months?
Yep, absolutely. So we started November 2023 with 12 bikes and then our podium bike for our instructor. And we just had 8 classes a week, so a morning and an evening class. And we were just waitlisted. So we would have our 12 bikes booked and then a wait list of 10 people trying to get in. So immediately knowing I needed more bikes and more instructors and training to be a spin instructor, it is definitely a process. You're motivating the room, you're inspiring. So making sure I took the time to train. And we were at our one space, which was about 1,000 square feet, which was huge to me. I adore that space. It was hard to leave. And we moved to a new space right across town. I think it's a little over 4,000 square feet. It's so giant. I'm very excited to be here, and we have 22 bikes now. We also introduced strength classes. So we also have hybrid classes where we will do 30 minutes on the bike, 20 minutes of strength training with dumbbells. We introduced a wellness lounge with an infrared sauna. So really utilizing the space to hit different audiences, whether you're coming in for fitness, community, wellness. We do have a little studio store with merchandise for Thrive Cycle. So we are very lucky to be in this space. And yes, I am excited to be here. Our first space was a year and now going on 2, and just trying to keep up with everybody.
Nice. Kind of as you reflect back on your startup stuff, and we'll probably stop calling you a startup pretty soon since it's almost been 2 years. But for someone who's tuned in right now or might watch this in recording, what's your best bit of advice you could give to an entrepreneur who's got an idea but hasn't started yet? What could you tell them?
I would say follow your gut and keep going. There's always going to be so many challenges, so many unexpected things, and just really putting that next foot forward. There were so many roadblocks in the beginning, and instead of it deterring you, make it an opportunity to learn. Like, I hit this roadblock. What other options do I have? Reach out, resources, your downtown association, go to other businesses, see if they'll meet with you. There's so many resources where you can find an opportunity to move forward. And maybe it's not in the timeline you expected. Maybe it'll be 2 months. Maybe it happens faster, but just always remembering to keep moving forward. If it's something you love and inspires you and makes you happy, it's going to make other people happy. And you just have to put that work in to get there and share that inspiration. And that is something I still hold really deep. Having hard days, doing all the reports, the utilization operations. My favorite part is I put my mic pack on, I go in that room, I clip into my bike, turn the lights off, and I get to instruct 22 people, blast my music, have the lights, and that's my 45 minutes of inspiration to carry me through the next hurdles. So just hold to that and knowing there's always a way forward.
Nice. Well, speaking of that, let's run the slideshow a little bit and give everybody kind of a feel for what Thrive is. We've got a couple pictures here, and I'll just tell you when to go. So obviously, Jennifer, too, are these regular bikes people would have in their home, or are these a special spin studio stationary bike?
Yep, there's special commercial bikes that we order, just more heavy duty for heavy use. I mean, some of these bikes are ridden 3 or 4 times a day, a couple hours. So they are available for purchase, but they're also a little bit higher quality for commercial use.
Okay, cool. You want to hit the next slide there, Joel? Just a still shot of kind of what the inside of the studio looks like. Again, you said dark, so just kind of a pretty cool environment with some lights and stuff like that. I think we got a video in the next slide, maybe. No, there's maybe either people pre or post class. I don't know. I just stole some pictures off your Facebook page, but maybe the next one's a video. Give everybody an idea of what it's like to be in So it looks like a lot of fun. Backstreet Boys, was that? Did I hear Backstreet Boys there? Or, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hit the next slide there, Joel. And I noticed too recently some of your social media, a few more guys showing up. Is that right?
Yes, it's finally breaking into that audience. I think it's a little bit intimidating for men to come in, but all of these men are spouses, boyfriends of riders. And a big thing I hear from women is they go home and after a couple months, they love it. They talk about it so much. They're feeling good. And so their husband, spouses want to come join and they love it. And I love that men think it's easier than it really is. It's an intense workout, 45 minutes on the bike. So these are a couple spouses and boyfriends we love, police officer, military, and it's just nice to have that energy. So I'm proud that we're breaking into the market with more men coming in.
Sure. Let's hit the next slide there, Joel. I think maybe another, just, you know, it looks like a lot of fun, a lot of bright colors, a lot of stuff happening. Get the next one there. Was that Funky Town I heard in the background?
That was one of our big rides. Robin, she just hit her 250th ride. So when we hit milestones, we do really big celebrations and they get to pick their own playlist, which means they get to choose the music they love, all the moves they love. We just love to celebrate everyone wherever they're at. So that was a special one.
Nice. Go to the next one, Joel. I think we just got a few more. It looks like you do specials throughout each month. Maybe this coming month is some sort of bingo ride. Yep. I'll get to that in a little bit when we talk about customer engagement. But next slide, Joel. Again, you know, movie night stuff, just specialized stuff. So I think that might be it, unless there's one more video, and then we're done with just previewing. 4, 3, 2, 1. One thing I've learned from watching these videos, it's more than just cycling. There's a lot of movement. I think you're going to be burning a lot of calories when you go there. Let's kind of jump to just kind of operationally what the business is like for you. What tools do you use for the operations? Like, if you could list 3 of your most important tools, either marketing or operationally, everything from website to accounting, what do you do? How do you operate the business?
Absolutely. The biggest platform we use is called Mariana Tech, and it is a specialized boutique platform, and that holds our schedule, all of our reporting. It's a very big tool that we use, how I do scheduling, how the audience sees our websites on Wix that I manage. I do all the social media, all the marketing, all the email marketing, and that's through Wix, and we use Canva quite a bit. It has been a big learning opportunity, definitely finding out what works, what doesn't, tracking, engagement. And then Google Calendar is very important for us and our team. Everything's on there for our front staff and our instructors, just really keeping track. Yep. So those are my big platforms.
Your Google Calendar is just an internal thing that the team sees internally. Okay. And then the Mariana is the outward facing scheduling app. Is that right?
Correct.
You do a really good job on social media marketing. Do you do any paid social media, or is it all organic?
We just started doing paid, more Instagram, some Facebook, especially when we are running specials like our bingo. We'll do some paid ads just to kind of hit the audience, and I'll do the Great Falls area specific target audience. Yes, so that has been, I'm still playing with that, but I have seen a lot of new writers come in from those paid ads.
How are you tracking that paid media piece? Are you able to tie that back to specific ads or you just have a feel for, you've got a new writer that happened to coincide when you ran that paid marketing, or how are you tying that together to be able to prove your return on investment on that marketing spend?
Definitely paying attention when we get that influx of new writers when we're running ads. I run them for 6 days. And then also just really engaging with our writers. It's very intimidating to go into any fitness studio by yourself or new. So anytime we have someone new, we make sure we spend that extra time. Hi, how are you? How did you hear about us? And that's when we'll usually get, oh, I saw it on social media. And a lot of our new clients are referrals from friends. A friend told me, or they've been watching us for a while on social and they finally decided to come in. So it's really kind of a mix, but mostly it's just talking to our writers if it's a paid ad they came in from.
So social media is a huge component of your marketing mix, it sounds like.
Yes, it is.
And most of it sounds like started organically. So to me, that probably proves there's a path forward for entrepreneurs to develop that organically without having to spend money initially on a marketing effort. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes. I do very little paid ads. It is mostly organic. And I have noticed for us in this industry, the best real stories posts are the most natural ones. Nothing really edited photo wise. Our writers celebrating their milestones. I love to take videos after classes, time lapses. People love that. They want to see who's writing. They want to see what's going on. So organic has been a big hit, and it's always a learning curve, like what's hitting and what's not. But I feel like majority of my time is for social media.
Mm-hmm. How did you create that first batch of social media following, starting from scratch? How did you get your first followers? Did you simply just ask friends to start liking you, or and did you hit that inflection point, or can you remember that inflection point when you just had some random person with no connection finding you and following you? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, when we first moved here, I was new to Great Falls and I didn't know anyone. And so all that organic posting, it did take some time, and I did a lot of walking around and talking to other businesses and welcoming us for coming and introducing. So it was a slow, arduous process building that, and getting people to know what Thrive Cycle is before we even opened. I think just hitting it hard, all different types of posts were coming. This is us. This is what it looks like. And then once we did open, it was that user generated content, like taking as many videos in class of writers, tagging them was very important. So they tagged their friends. But it really hit hard when we opened and I actually could put names to faces and gather those followers by tagging them, is when we really grew.
Nice. You mentioned about building a team. Can you talk a little bit about what that feels like for you and how you've incorporated that whole thing into your philosophy of the business, building your team, and what that means?
Yes, building our team, that has been the biggest challenge, to really convey what Thrive Cycle is and the culture, and just holding on to the feeling of a new writer coming into class and just being blown away in the best way possible. We started with instructors. So we did instructor training. It's probably a 3 to 6 month process where we have our Thrive Cycle method, a manual of what it means to be an instructor. And we walk through the process over weeks and weeks of time, where we will read what we're doing and then we'll practice it, and just slowly building these instructors 1 week at a time, where we just keep the beat on the bike. And then we get the mic pack and you hear your voice and you're putting moves together. It's a slow process to build their confidence, because when you're on that podium, you are doing everything. You're doing lights, you're doing music, you're cueing, you're inspiring, you're teaching. It is work, but it's so rewarding. That has been my biggest reward, is finding instructors and they get on that podium and they light up. Like, they love teaching, they love inspiring, and it's a continuous process. We're always learning. We meet once a month, and what we'll do is have 30 minutes where we share our choreography, which are our moves on the bike. We share inspiration, music, what's challenging. We also have a move of the month we do for our community, where us as instructors will come together and think of like an 8-count move that we introduce to our community, and then we practice all together. So really engaging everybody. Teaching has been a big challenge, teaching instructors, but I love it so much. And then the front staff team, we like to hire within so they understand our culture and already know our riders. So if you've ever been in, you do know we try to know everyone's name right off the bat. We have little welcome cards for every rider that we leave on their bike, just little touches to let them know that we care about them, we're invested in them, and you're going to have a blast here. So growing a team has been something else.
So the one thing I've noticed is kind of watching you from afar and following your brand, you really do work on the customer experience side of stuff. Really, it's about the customer. So again, kind of going back to advice, and not necessarily for the cycle studio, but what kind of advice could you give entrepreneurs out there to talk to them about being customer focused and what that means, and kind of how you did it, or some general tips on that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think for me in the beginning, when I moved here before we opened, I went to a lot of other fitness studios and just wanted to feel what it was like to walk in there the first time, and what I would like and what made me happy, and really elevating that here, making it a really bright, welcoming environment. Making sure when anyone walks in, they're greeted immediately, making sure we have the resources here for them. You can walk in just your workout clothes and we have everything for you. We have water, we have towel, we have rental shoes. So you are good to go. Just trying to take that barrier away if people, are hesitant to come in, and just building those relationships. And that's just upfront. On the back end, getting to know them on social. Any new riders we have, I'll find them on Instagram and Facebook and ask to follow them, see who they are as a person, their family, what inspires them, what they like. And the next time they come in, really engage in that conversation. A lot of our riders love the community here. They have found friends here. They bring their friends. So those referrals are so important for us to build. But it is taking that time to know them individually. And although it can be time consuming, you're making a big difference in their life. I mean, how's your dog doing? I saw your dog had to go to the vet. Like, tell me about it. We want people to feel like they are welcome here, no matter who they are. And that does take work, but once you build those relationships, you have such strong clients. So taking the time to invest in them it's been really crucial for us.
Yeah. So really putting yourselves in the shoes of the customer, kind of seeing it from their perspective initially, sounds like pretty helpful information, right? And you talked a little bit about retention and referrals. So like you do a lot of referral work. Have you formalized your referral system at all? Or is it just word of mouth?
Word of mouth. And we do have a referral program that we run where I think it's probably on Instagram. It was once a month. So everyone, if you brought a friend in, a new friend, we put your name in a raffle. And at the end of the month, we pick someone to win an unlimited membership for a month. So just really trying to bring people in. And then our bingo we have right now, one of our bingo rides is bring a friend. So, they bring a friend, they can mark it off, and then we'll have prizes at the end of the bingo. So always incorporating new riders to come in. Bring your friend in, ride with a friend, because it is more fun to ride with someone you know.
So a lot of these ideas I'm hearing from you are a lot of no cost marketing type stuff. Like I think it's really nice to hear that you don't have to have a huge marketing budget to put this type of stuff together. It's a lot of creativity. There may be some expense in, free or discounted membership, but no huge marketing budget initially to overcome
No, just time making the content and then really strategizing how to get it out. So for like our bingo, we've been prepping this for about 2 months, really kind of dropping it on social, like guess what's coming, bingo's coming, making sure we have a special associated with that. So for our bingo of April, we have a unlimited membership for $99 for writers that didn't really want to make the commitment to be a member, but want to be here for a month. And typically they convert over to our unlimited membership. So really hitting it early and teasing it, and then dropping that special, it makes a big difference. That's helped us a lot.
Yeah, some kind of build up and tease to it is, and then there's a big payoff right at the end. So nice. I'm trying to think about there. How do you see your business evolving from an operational marketing standpoint? Stuff you've let go of or that you're looking forward to?
I can't say we've let go of anything. We have continued to expand and grow. When we first started, we were just indoor cycling 45 minutes, but we have added our hybrid classes, which people love. So we have a spin and strength, a spin and stretch. We're going to be introducing a spin and sculpt soon. So just more equipment. And then in late May, we'll have 45-minute strength classes that are not cycling. So it's more building muscle, having different formats, upper body, lower body, because we do have a strength area now. And we're in the works of some collaborations with local businesses to incorporate wellness, which would mean like vitamin injections or massages or stretch therapy, things that you would need when you're in the fitness world. And just having that all here, being a comprehensive business where it's not just a fitness studio, there's so much more that we offer. So always thinking of what's next, what can we do for our riders to make this the full journey of what they're looking for? Because wellness is not just 45 minutes on a bike. It encompasses so much more. So growing with our riders as they grow in their journey.
Mm-hmm. So kind of recognizing your core business, but then also innovating throughout that and kind of seeing other opportunities throughout it. So, well, cool. This has been a quick half hour. I can't believe it's 30 minutes already, Jennifer. So I'm going to let anybody have questions they want to ask Jennifer. Certainly unmute yourself or put them in the chat, and Joel and I can read them if you're shy, you don't want to unmute yourself. It looks like someone, maybe Anne. Did you unmute yourself there? I saw it for a second, but anything else you'd like to add to this conversation, Jennifer?
Thrive Cycle is a special place. It is for everybody. We have everyone from all walks of life come in here. High schoolers, moms that just had babies, men that are just starting to work out, men that want a different type of exercise. We have a couple military men that are training for a triathlon, and I think that's really cool that they're coming in here. There is no barrier. We invite everybody. It's just so nice to be in a dark room with other people, hearing music that really moves you and just feeling that adrenaline rush. So I really encourage you not to, yes, come in here, but just try something different. Get out there, be uncomfortable. We have so many riders that were so nervous to come in, and they finally come in and they leave that room and they are just glowing. So just stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something different is the biggest takeaway. And I'm just very grateful for the Great Falls community. It has been amazing being new here and moving here and opening a business. Now that I see it, it sounded crazy. So I'm so glad that I went forward with it. It's just been an amazing place, and I'm excited to keep growing with this community. So thank you.
Yeah. Dan, I did see Dan Gordon asks, is Thrive a franchise? I don't believe it is. It's your own brainchild, right, Jennifer?
Yes, that's correct.
Yep. Yep. Well, if I could kind of summarize some of the stuff just from a generalized business standpoint, I think some key things I heard, Jennifer, are have a dream, follow it, and if you knew what you wanted, you knew what there was a void in that market, and you knew how to serve it. I also really heard social media marketing is really important, and being, I guess, genuine in that, not trying to craft something that's staged or phony, but trying to be really genuine in your social media postings is important. Building anticipation about certain events is a really great social media marketing tactic. And then, just really, again, serving the customers from a standpoint of putting yourself in their shoes and really seeing the business from your customer's eyes. I think that's a really important takeaway. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs get so involved with what they're doing, they sometimes forget to step back and view their business from a customer's standpoint. So I thought those are all really great tips for people tuning in. Any other questions before we talk about our next month's webinar?
Somebody's interested in $50,000 your plan.
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
Hey, I just have one question, I think, for Jennifer. So with you being in business here in town and support and stuff that you do with the other businesses and stuff, are you looking for like partnerships when you're talking about growing with offering health things? Are you going around to the businesses and say, hey, how can we do events for your organization and your staff to come in and be a part of this? Is that kind of what your thoughts are when you're looking at those partnerships and stuff?
No, it's actually through writers. A lot of our writers have other local businesses and they want to work together. So it's just writer input, and then we collaborate together. Like the wellness, like we will be doing a collaboration in the future with Aesthetics, a local business here. And we found that resource within. So it's more helping build other local businesses and kind of elevate each other. So.
Okay. Oh, good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions people might have for Jennifer? I think it's Joel who taught me you have on a webinar, you have 4 seconds of uncomfortable silence and then you move on. Something like that. All right. Deb, can you unmute yourself and promote, talk about May's webinar real quick?
Yep, absolutely. So hello, everyone. Our May webinar guest, and Jennifer, great job. And I don't know if you saw, there was actually a comment in, I don't know if it's Elisa or Alyssa, but giving you some kudos too. So our guest in May is going to be Grant Bauer. Grant and his wife, Marge, have run a business on Amazon for a very, very long time. Grant is amazing. I don't even know how to tell you how amazing he is. I'm actually in Minnesota right now and got to actually sit down with him in person on this visit. And they literally started their business in a bedroom. They expanded to the garage. Then they built a business on their property. Then they ultimately purchased a warehouse. And so he is going to be talking to us about building an online business through Amazon. And it's not the same today as it was 15 years ago. So he's actually been through all of the stages of that. So he's got some great insights and he's just a great person. So you will just enjoy meeting him and visiting with him.
Great. Thanks, Deb. And thanks again to Jennifer. And this will be, the recording will be posted pretty soon at the MSU site. I'll send everybody a link to that once that's posted and up. And again, thanks, Jennifer, so much for jumping in and doing this. I know you're busy. You probably want to be riding a bike right now, not talking to us, but we appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Great. Thanks, everybody.